Let's bring back New York City Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik. He's also a Newsmax contributor to talk more about this. So, Bernie, we have two big differences here between what happened in Rochester and what happened in Lancaster. In Lancaster, you have a judge say, I'm not going to put up with any of this. I'm going to put a $1 million bail on these people. You have the officers go and arrest them, not taking any chances, going all in on this. And, of course, the riots stopped. But in Rochester, you have the mayor there, Lovely Warren. She has sold out her police chief and the members of her department. These are pretty stark differences.
Well, here's the bottom line, John. At the end of the day, there has to be an investigation. And in almost every one of these cases, you're going to have a departmental investigation, you're going to have a county investigation or city investigation, and you're probably going to have a federal investigation by the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. The real way these should be handled is nobody should do anything until those investigations are concluded, unless there's overwhelming evidence, like in the shooting in Lancaster, that the officers acted in self-defense. You want to get that piece of the evidence pie out there so that people can see exactly what happened. In that case, it was clearly self-defense. This is a guy that attacked the officer with a large knife. He had been arrested prior for stabbing 4 different people. He had mental health issues with the police, which the police officers didn't know, couldn't know in the time they were there. And the department responded adequately and forcefully, as a result of the riots. And if that was done in every one of these cities that's had problems, we wouldn't be having these problems.
Yeah, it's how you handle the situation. Let's also welcome in Jack Brewer. He's a retired NFL captain, and he's the CEO of the Brewer Group. Jack, thanks for being with us. Great to join you. Now, we have the mayor of Rochester, Lovely Warren, turning her back on her police chief, LaRon Singletary. And I'm all for transparency, but I also understand why a police chief would be reluctant to hold this information back, because we see the result. And Bernie talked about this, Jack. We got forensic reports, toxicology reports, grand juries probably involved. The wheels of justice turn slow, but you can understand why LaRon Singletary didn't want his mayor to see this type of information, because he knew he didn't trust her. She sold him out.
Yeah, there's just so many of our law enforcement officers and leaders of these police departments that are being literally forced to lead from the back. Because they have to think about all of these issues that will arise if they actually go through the typical process that they've been trained to do. In an investigation, just like Bernie said, in an investigation, you need to take time and take a step back. It's not about putting emotion towards issues that are happening like this. You have to really take a deep look at the facts and what happened to the facts. Most people want to sit back and play Monday morning quarterback on every issue that happens in regards to police officers. I just don't understand where we're going as a nation. How are we ever going to get quality people, men and women who have worked their entire careers to learn proper protocols for law enforcement? And those are the ones that we're kicking out of the justice system. And now this man, will he ever get another job working at a police department? We don't know that. And now we're talking about having a crisis on our hands where police officers aren't even getting enough training.
He'll get a great job, Jack. I'm sure he'll get a great job working private security someplace, but he won't be helping out a community, which is probably his real passion, why he got involved in law enforcement in the first place. But we see this. These are qualified, talented people. You don't become the police chief unless you have the qualifications to do so in a town like Rochester. I don't know a ton about LaRon Singletary, but I imagine he will have a list of job offers working private security. But we see where this is going, Bernie, and the result is what happened in Los Angeles County with these 2 sheriff's deputies being ambushed, because we have elected officials kind of trying to court this Black Lives Matter vote, but then you have radical Black Lives Matter activists celebrating this type of violence. And here is one of those incidents. Let's take a listen to this guy. His name is Kevin Price.
What are we supposed to do, y'all? We're supposed to celebrate today because the oppressor has been slain. The sheriff department has murdered too many of our brothers and sisters. Matter of fact, law enforcement throughout the country has murdered too many of our brothers and sisters. So if this is a start of retribution, then I think this is a very good start.
Bernie, lots of people have been censored on social media. That guy's videos are still up on YouTube right now. But this guy is stoking domestic terrorism, is he not?
Yeah, but there's a bunch of them. And, John, I want to take you back to the 70s and 80s, when the Black Liberation Army, the Black Panther Party, the United Freedom Front, and the Weather Underground were assassinating cops at a rate probably about 24 over that 10-year period between 70 and 81. Over 24 cops were killed by them, and they were done in the exact same manner as these 2 LA cops were shot. And it was all as a result of this, they wanted a revolution. They wanted an overthrow of the government, the oppression of the U.S. government. It's all the same rhetoric that Black Lives Matter is quoting today, perpetuating today. And, I think the politicians have to they have to get the courage to step up, call it what it is, and stop it.
Yeah, Jack, what is it going to take to actually make that happen?
You hear them calling everyone the oppressor, when our reality is the majority of them are oppressing themselves. The only way we're going to do that is and actually move forward as a nation is to find truth. And right now we're finding truth through emotion. We're going to need to start finding our truth through God and finding our truth through the spirituality that actually founded this nation, one nation under God, that brought us together. Instead of always talking about identity and what color people are and making our decisions based off pigmentation, we need to start talking about how we can become one America and actually talk about our problems versus going out into the streets and causing chaos.
Jack Brewer, Bernie Kerik, thanks so much, gentlemen. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, John.
All right.